Hello everyone, welcome back to Lobotomy Corporation. This is episode 9, and today I'm just gonna read the backstories of this, and this first, which is gonna be a lot. A large many-eyed bird that patrols the dark forest with an everlasting lamp. Unlike regular birds, it lacks wings and has long arms instead, with which it can pick things up. Omitted would stare intently at anyone it found, young or old, and bite their head off. There is a tale of a beast that lies in the deepest, darkest part of the forest, who dazzles creatures away, never to be seen again. To protect all creatures from the beast, the big bird turned all of its feathers to make a wick. Burned all of its feathers to make a wick. Then made a lamp that would burn forever. With this eternally lit lamp, the bird wandered the forest, warning the creatures to not stray too deep into the trees. Thanks to the large bird, fewer creatures fell victims to the beast in the forest. However, it was still concerned for the creatures still being killed by the beast. An idea struck the big bird's mind. If I kill the creatures first, then no one would be killed by the beast. Since then, only rumors of the beast that would bite off your head flew around the dark forest. It is said that the beast carefully examines and stares at its victims to see if they are the beast that lures helpless creatures away. This is a tale from a town in the location redacted area. We heard a tale from the town's oldest inhabitant, redacted. Although there is a general assumption that the tale was told to prevent children from entering the forest, it is uncertain who first inherited the tale. We can't do anything while the abnormality has its eyes open. It stares intently, and as it keeps staring, omitted. This is why we need to put it to sleep first. We can only begin working when all of its numerous dozens of eyes have entered it into slumber. And then it turns out the tale was not made up. We could find this large bird in the forest. Right after that, we tried to look for the beast that dazzles people. We searched through every nook and cranny of the forest, investigating every single creature in detail. A month later, we came to the conclusion. There is no such beast in the forest except for that big bird. This abnormality is completely ignorant of the common perception of death. The abnormality that resides in this corporation can be placed into two different categories. The first category is those who understand perfectly well what the concept and meaning of death is, and will attack our staff with the intent to kill. The second has those who are aware of the concept of death, but attack without malicious intent. This abnormality we have contained here fits into neither of these two categories. So this bird, death is in itself its salvation. If it just ripped off the head of a poor little girl who got lost in the forest, to it, there was no mistake, malice, or murder. It just thinks that it saved the girl from the beast. Wow. Let me check my mic volume. A bit loud. There we go. Hopefully that is better. Alright, nameless fetus. It takes the form of an unborn fetus. Its skin is covered in a mucus, sticky liquid. Small veins can be seen here and there. The abnormalities, abnormally bulged eyes are usually closed. It always seems unsatisfied, but what exactly it needs is undetermined. It has a great obsession with being fed, and if it is not fed regularly, its stress levels rise drastically. Once it reaches a certain level of stress, it cries out loudly in a way that mentally harms all who may be around it. Excerpt from interview log number 2.49. Employee F2706. I've never seen it smile. It always seems to want something, but we can never fulfill its desire. I guess the reason why its cries are destructive is because its unsatisfied needs are so strong. When I was a newbie here, none of my colleagues would tell me what exactly you fed it. I thought it was just some weird milk or something, like what other normal babies would eat. It is a baby after all, underneath all that grossness. But that wasn't the case. It only eats human flesh. Can you believe it? Stop it from crying. We have to hold it drying every so often. Do you know what that means? Jeez. Excerpt from Terminator observation log. When I first heard that the nameless fetus had to be fed, I thought we would just have to give it food with like a spoon or something. It looked too weak to do anything, and its mouth isn't fully developed either. Later, I found out that it ate meat. I thought it would have to be chewed up by someone first, so it would be soft enough to eat. When I asked my working buddy about it, he laughed. He said, "No way, that's ridiculous. We just need to leave the food in the unit and go." I still thought about how in the world that fetus could eat stuff. I wonder if we served it some kind of succulent steak that's not even available to us in the cafeteria. Out of curiosity, I decided to sneak a peek at the feeding process of the nameless fetus. Only level 3 and up employees are assigned to that process, but I was able to attend because I made up an excuse that I was covering for someone. As I nervously watched, wondering if my allowance would be worth it, some people came along with large plastic bags. Does it eat that much? And when they opened the bag, I could only gape in horror. They were human corpses, and the baby ate it. How? I don't even want to imagine it. It had a large scar on its stomach. I really thought it was some kind of scar, like a large flower. Its stomach would open, dripping with slimy liquid. It was the greediest creature in the world. That day onward, I was a vegetarian. Except for... Jeez, that's... Okay. Except from an employee's diary. I'm Polly. I've worked for Lobotomy for about a month now. My parents are really proud of me for getting into a wing like this, and my friends are jealous of me. I still make a lot of mistakes, but someday I'll be capable as my coworkers. There's a special employees-only event held by our company. No one knows when or why this event is held. Even my coworker, who's been here for 5 years, doesn't seem to know. When the event starts, a giant roulette begins to spin. Everybody stops what they're doing and to stare at the roulette to see who will be the lucky winner. With desperate looks on their faces, the name of every single employee is written on that roulette. Whoever ends up being selected, they're extremely lucky. They'll be promoted and transferred to another branch of the company headquarters. In addition, their family will be gifted with an unimaginable fortune. At the headquarters, you don't have to worry about being attacked by abnormalities or need to bid farewell to your dead colleagues. My senior, Redacted, really hopes that he'll get picked eventually. You see, their father got into an accident one day, and it takes a lot of money to keep him alive and well. I really hope the roulette picks Redacted someday. When my senior's name showed up on the roulette, I congratulated them with all my heart, though they didn't seem too happy for some reason. Others gave him a hug, one by one. Everybody was crying for some reason. They said goodbye to me, shedding tears, while trying to force a smile. I haven't seen them since, but I'm sure they're working under much better conditions with a really nice salary. But when I try to bring them up in a conversation, people stop talking as if I've spoken some sort of taboo. I still remember the last thing they said to me before they left. One day you'll understand the meaning of desperation on their faces when the roulette spins. The manager holds the specific right to call a special event for all the employees in the facility without any cause for occasion. When the event starts, a giant roulette will spin and select one lucky employee's name. Employee will be promoted, transferred to a different branch, and their family will receive a yearly pension. No personnel are allowed to invade the manager's right to hold this event. The following information is forbidden to the public eye. Conditions required to hold the event. Data access restricted. The crying of nameless fetus has reached its peak. The roulette will select the employee that satisfies one of the conditions below. Questions the true purpose of the company, conducts or plans unauthorized experiments with abnormalities, maintains an excessive curiosity about the abnormalities, and conducts or plans unauthorized observation on them, is incapable of working due to physical or psychological trauma. Unauthorized signifies that it is unauthorized by the corporation or Angela. The following actions will be taken with the employees selected by the roulette: expunging all records the company has about the employee, sacrificing the employee to the abnormality, informing the employee's family that they have been transferred to another branch. Wow. No, the big one. Nothing there. That's just great. Alright, that's... An abnormality whose appearance resembles a human, but cannot and should not be human. It periodically devours employees and wears their shell. The skeleton and organs are misplaced during the process, so it takes a bizarre form. The abnormality does have a tongue. However, it has no knowledge of speech and as such cannot talk. It can only make meaningless sounds. There is no telling what is inside its shell, but its skin continuously wears down, so there is a need to change and maintain the outer layer. But its skin is insensible to pain. It may break its own bones or cut itself up to escape through a small rescue. Bit by bit, we discovered this abnormality may be evolving. It demonstrates behavior similar to the character of the person who used to be its shell. It even makes attempts to acquaint itself with human beings. When it escapes, it wears the skin of the person it killed and mimics them. Then, without any sign or forewarning, it reveals its true/second form. In its true/second form, its resemblance is much similar to that of humanity in comparison to its earlier form. A new form is confirmed to possess bipedalism, properly aligned organs, and the addition of greater physical strength. All the employees are afraid of this form. A warning of something. It has been confirmed that it has escaped and stood on 2 feet. There is only one thing you can do. Straighten up your posture, gather your hands neatly, and pray to whatever you believe in and observe the situation as it folds. Excerpt from counseling log. Just like how we observe abnormalities as employees, nothing there observes us. Then it puts on the shell of an employee and thinks of itself as the employee that just died. The sight of that thing eating one of us is horrifying beyond words. Just trying to think about it might drive me mad. Heading to its containment unit to check the state of its shell is a toil on your mind too. Imagine that a colleague of yours, who you chatted with just a few days ago, is sitting in that room, neck snapped, guts exposed, walking on all fours, drooling like a beast. Omitted. That's not all. When I was still a new employee, no one else was willing to enter its containment unit, so I was forced to go work with it. It looked even worse than it does now. It was in the shape of a horribly deformed human. What's worse, it tried to mimic humans, doing stuff like looking into a mirror, mumbling to itself, or trying to fix its skeletal structure, as if it was trying to mimic us. Who knows, it might get good enough to casually walk among us one day. Warning, only employees level 3 and higher are permitted to read this document. This recording of a call from the containment unit's emergency phone. Phone systems are installed in every room of abnormalities of risk level HE or higher to enable quick threat response. Employee 1, please pick up. This is the containment unit of nothing there. ERD, hello, this is the emergency response team. What's the problem? Employee, I need a stun gun right now. There's an emergency happening right now. Can you specify the reason? The abnormality, the sounds of something breaking can be heard. It's ripping up the employees. Excuse me? It's killing my colleague! We'll respond immediately. Please identify the employees being attacked. It's 1 second. Their name's redacted. Control team. I'm redacted. Old school control team. Confirmed. What's currently happening to your colleague at this exact moment? Yeah, just please hurry. We need a weapon to control the abnormality. Loud noise can be heard, presumably the scream of the colleague. Oh god, this is what's happening. The abnormality is attacking my colleague. It's rare. It's literally ripping them apart. I can't do anything. I repeat, we need a weapon to control the abnormality. The emergency response team has been dispatched. They'll arrive shortly. Omitted. Redacted. What's happening now? Is it still attacking your colleague? Yeah, oh no, I think it's done now. Has it stopped attacking? No, I mean my colleagues. He's dead. He's dead, alright. How can you be so sure? Well, because has he been ripped up somehow? What body parts are damaged? All of them. That's a good response. Excerpt from counseling log. Just how we observe abnormalities as employees. Nothing there observes us. Then it puts on the shell of an employee and thinks of itself as the employee that just died. It mimics the employee's usual behavior. The way they walk, the way they talk, likes and dislikes, and every other visible trait. I can only guess how carefully and for how long it's been observing the employees to imitate them. What I'm trying to say is we can't just treat it as some dumb, scary monster. Even now, it could be strolling about wearing the shell of someone we know. This abnormality is becoming more and more like a human. Its transformation is getting faster, too. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. If the time comes when we fail to recognize it, that will be the day the company falls. We must stay ever vigilant when dealing with this abnormality. The following is a recording of abnormal behavior an employee exhibited in their last moments after they became a shell of nothing there. Manager, manager. Man, you've been looking for the manager for quite a while now. You've been acting really weird today, you know? What's with that weird smile and all? Anyhow, I sure hope we get pasta in the cafeteria for dinner today. I'd love some of that with thick bacon. Oh, we just got an emergency notice. It says that the last employee to work with nothing there should get to the counselor's office immediately. Wait, wasn't that you? Hey, say something. Manager, manager, manager. The second employee proceeded to take immediate action upon hearing that. However, nothing there tore out of the shell of the first employee, revealing its beginner form. The recording also includes audio files. So what exactly happened or what kind of behavior the employee exhibited still remains only includes audio files. So what kind of behavior the employee exhibited still remains a mystery. A shell with nothing there inside tries its best to mimic the behavior of the employee it tried to kill moments ago. The actions of the last employee it eyed, their final words, those sort of things. And the many shells cried out one word: manager. Well, I made Denvir. He is another one of my friends, so they're gonna be up here with Patrick. I'm gonna have Patrick working justice and Denvir working attachment. And I leveled him up like a lot. Wow, that was a lot. Will Tasha work on that? Okay, I want to get the... Yeah, I'm just gonna have Stoneworking Instinct. What's that thing? Guess I'll try and work Insight. Yeah. Sure. Munchkin needs... Alright. Alright, there we go. Alright, now let's see what happens here. Looks like an Aleph. What's melting down? Punishing Bird and Leticia. Why is Munchkin doing so bad? Okay. Does white damage. Alright. I don't have enough. I'll have Lily work that again. I'll just have that. I could have anyone work on that. Wait. Yeah, the rest fine. Leticia. Attachment. Wait, no, not Snowball. Lily. I can have Snowball work on nothing there again. Alright, everything seems to be going good. We'll have, who is this? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Set off Dawn. I've been trying out Denvere. That's Lily. Common. Okay. Oh. Uh-oh. It's letting out nothing there. Oh, what? What's going on? First trumpet. What's going on? And nothing there is out. Well, let's just have something use this. Someone for someone. That's just great. At least we have decent music as everything gets annihilated. Oh, and great, we're gonna have to deal with the sounds of Endless Fetus. Ah, and that second trumpet. That's awful. This is the best soundtrack. And let's just any subject who enters the shelter. Does this end? What's going on here? What is happening? And that's third trumpet. Any subject who enters this shelter from 27th or from the 27th of March will be immune to all forms of damage. However, this is now applied to damage caused by 0-09-91. Furthermore, the subject's HP and X and SP will slowly recover starting the moment they enter the shelter from the 27th of March. bomb shelter that completely protects its interior from all hazardous influence of the outside world, including light. The shelter still remains the memory of that day. If a subject enters the shelter from the 27th of March while being pursued by a hostile entity, the subject will become undetectable to the pursuer. And great, that's starting again. I'm just gonna wait. I can't even see. Oh, just retry the day. Oh, I need someone with good sanity to be working on whatever that thing is. Lily is strong against everything too. Which one takes the least damage against what? There's that. And there's that. Alright, Owen. You get to work with whatever that thing is. I need to... Yeah, there we go. Alright. So... So I could use more Munchkin could use more sanity, but that's not gonna happen. Just have him work with old lady once. What does Lily? I don't think she needs justice. Insight. I'm gonna have her work that. Instinct, snowball. Have Owen work with this thing. I need to have Munchkin in a spot where he can work insight. And Punishing Bird is out. What's melting down? Yeah. Funeral. Whatever. It's gonna decrease his counter by 1, but whatever. Don't suppress it. Good. Alright, what does repression do? Okay, bad. So I think the best thing to work is insight, I believe. Yeah. There we go. How much do we need? 220 to 120. I'm not gonna work with this thing outside of when it has the minus percentage. Yep. Attachment, repression. No, this is gonna set off the meltdown. Yeah. What else do we... That... Wait, no, we've got one right there. Yep, everybody's doing good. Yep, and that's it. Repression. Alright, gonna have Owen work on that. Tasha. Then I can almost have Lily go in there. Snowball's regenning. I'll have Lily work attachment. Gilbert. Sure, whatever. I can have Munchkin work. Comment on this. Right? Yeah. Seems to be going good. Okay, great. That's holding down. I'll have Patrick work on that. Oh, great. I need to work on that again. Wait, yeah. Now I can. Work result was good. The clip off counter lowered. What? Work result was bad. The clip off counter lowered. Wait for one more regen. I'm not gonna have Arnold work on those conditions. Tiana work on that. Then beer. And there we go. Should be pretty much all of the meltdowns. For Alright, music that is played by it when it escapes consists of 4 movements. As the piece progresses, employees listening will suffer white damage. Meanwhile, the size of the audible area of the music expands. Black for the 3rd movement, it was white. Black. For the 3rd movement, it was white. And lastly, during the 4th For each movement, the weaknesses of it changed. The first movement was pale, while the second movement was black. For the 3rd movement, it was white. And for the 4th movement, only red type attacks were effective. When the music reached the climax, it became immune to all forms of attack. That's just not great, isn't it? Gonna have these two keep working on this just so I can have these leveled up. Just for now. I'm gonna do this until it's about to be noon. Repression, high. Yep. I'm not gonna have Arnold Schwarzenegger work on that anymore. Just repression, and then I will end the day. Good gains. Nice job, everyone. No. Alright, when Pasha's done with working with this guy, haven't asked my dad how to pronounce it yet, and then bang. Ooh. Everybody's leveling up. Nice job. Alright, I'll do one more day here. The human mind is a melting pot of feelings. Memories, obsessions, wishes, agonies, and the feelings of happiness and sadness. Stronger emotions have stronger impetus. A combined effort of numerous people has brought Lobotomy Corporation to where it is now. We had to keep on with various experiments. Just as we hire new employees now, we recruit numerous people for the experiments. There was no definite shape at first, when it slowly assumed a form. Then it slowly assumed a form. Finally, A understood what while he was studying the changes. Their abilities, where they lived, their jobs, and their strengths were not so important. What was required was a massive amount of energy. This meant we just had one single thing to pay attention to. It's always floating around, left to rot at the back of everyone's heads, twisting your mind until you are left with nothing but self-loathing. The subconscious. Come to think of it, I haven't properly asked for your opinion. Do you truly wish to meet A? Nah. You may think now is not the time yet. Actually, I'm not sure if I want to meet with him right now either. What I've just said shall remain a secret to A, of course. Or will it? When his long journey ends and he finally returns, at least I, if anyone, should go and greet him. Don't you think? Sure, why not? Manager, how do the Sapphire appear to you? You must see them as humans, just like yourself. Your irrational smiles, desire, and frowns color their faces. A range of emotions much more in humans than myself, perhaps. However, you're aware of a key fact. If there were to be any AI in this place that would be sophisticated enough to be considered as a human in terms of appearance, only I would fit that criteria. Haven't I been telling you since the beginning? I am the one and only true superb AI here. To witness the essence of things is not all important in this place. All that you see is disordered and filtered quite heavily. Everything here is constructed just for you. Perhaps you can understand it better if I put it that way. Tippereth and Tippereth. They look different. Here is Tippereth, whom you should already know. Are you really Tippereth? What kind of stupid question is that? Who do you think it would be otherwise? That dumbfounded expression never ceases to amuse me. To tell you the truth, this part is usually where it gets boring, but that great expression of yours does give me a chuckle. You don't happen to think I'm the only one, right? Every Sapphire you've seen is just like me, and the same goes to the Sapphire you'll meet in the future. All thanks to that stupid AI ethics amendment. Next, here is the place where we were born and where we will return to someday. Maybe after everything is over, we will rest here, singing the song of our hometown. Jeez, that sound startled me. Gosh. What? I hope your next version will last longer, Tippereth. Well then, Tippereth, I will send the next one over whenever he's ready. Thank you, Lady Angela. So this is where everyone was. It took me long enough to find you guys since you weren't at the meeting room. What's happening, Malkuth? Netzek asked me to fetch a document from the other Tippereth. Oh, I'm afraid it's not ready yet. Something urgent turned up. And make sure to tell Netzek that he should show up himself next time. Well, Netzek said he's a bit busy. I'll tell him to visit you another time then. Why are you uppers all the same? Netzek isn't busy at all. He just doesn't want to move. But I'm having fun with this errand. Oh, you're replacing Tippereth right now? Well, looks like the cycle's getting shorter. It must be concerning, Tippereth. Don't worry about me. Just be mindful of your notebook. It looks like it'll fall apart to shreds at any moment by the looks of it. Oh, it is. Thank you for your concern. It was a pleasure to see you too, manager. So Tippereth, once Tippereth realizes its existence, they just destroy it and repeat the cycle. Nice to meet you. I'm Tippereth. We can skip the introductions, Tippereth. Right now it's time for you to examine the plan Netzak gave us. Alright. You seem to wanna say something to me. What would a broken machine have to say anyways? Tippereth is overloaded. He did seem to have some issues from the beginning, but it's only gotten worse with time. We have been replacing the machine often, resetting it and leaving only a small portion of the data intact. Yet the same error always occurs at the same point. Clear the day without a single containment unit's clip-off meltdown. Alright. Oh, Elijah. Oh, hello, sir. Sorry I'm quite busy. I still haven't finished even half of what I've written down in my notebook. This looks like Malkuth. Hey, I heard extraction experiments are going to be conducted. When I looked over the list of participants, I couldn't find my name on it. I mean, there's probably a ton of reasons behind it. Maybe I'm just not good enough for the experiment yet. But may I join the experiment too? I've learned a lot here. I'm sure I can help you in some way. Be sure not to disappoint. This looks like a memory. Hello, manager. Hi, Malkuth. Everybody say hi to Malkuth. It's sad to not have enough talent, isn't it? If someone doesn't look back towards you, what does that mean? That they don't acknowledge you? That they don't even care about what expression you may be making? That they feel no need to see what you're doing, as they've already come to a conclusion? Have you ever clawed and scrapped at the floor, writhing in pain? That's a weird sentence to say with a smile on your face. It really does sound excruciating, but in reality, the moment I completely lost my fingernails, I felt nothing. You stare at the flesh where your fingernails used to be, and just before you lose consciousness, when you feel that you aren't yourself anymore, you start to laugh frantically, even though it's not funny at all. And on the ground, you catch a glimpse of someone's shadow and their feet, and their feet as they look down on you. And guess whose feet those were? When the person who disliked looking back so much finally turned around, everything was over. Did you see the fragments of despair from there? Or were you staring at the bits of my fingernails scattered on the floor? That was the exact moment I knew true helplessness. Without you, I'd never have known the feeling. Thank you so much. Now what about you, manager? Have you ever felt helpless to control anything? When unbearable things pour down from somewhere that isn't your body and overwhelm you, it just feels so awful to be helpless, being out of control of yourself. Come on, please tell me, so I can feel rewarded just a bit. Elijah was impatient, and her impatience caused many common tasks. She once went on a long-winding filibuster of why she needed to finish the experiment, but I don't remember the details. Whenever she was told that she wasn't ready yet, I could see the strong desire in her eyes. It was a craving, a bizarre obsession. If another person had been in my place, they may have turned around for the sound of her hasty footsteps. Cogito was something that she couldn't access at her level of authority. The only task she was ordered to do was record the changes that occurred in the test subjects. What? She was aware that at the moment Cogito was absolutely not ready for human use. When I finally realized what was going on, half her teeth had fallen out and kill me, please, kill me. I don't want to ignore her. So she used this Cogito thing. Manifestation of Clipod due to Sapphire breakdown. Suppression of Sapphira's core. Rediscovering the deep scars that are afflicted upon this place. Manager, there is something I hadn't informed you of when we spoke for the first time. The Sephiroth, of course, wholeheartedly want to meet you. They admire you and follow you. However, at the same time, they earnestly yearn for you to be swallowed up in resentment and curses. Please be careful with them. Well, you don't have to pay that fact too much heed if you wish. What I mean to say is you are free to go back to your daily routine. It's no big deal for me to fill their roles if some of our Sephiroth go mad. Though if you do, then you will lose something important forever. The seed that can break the cycle. Yasad, do you really feel nothing about this? Try drinking some Kefalin. Close your eyes and open them again. I'm glad to see that you're not as feeble-minded as the other Sephiroth. It is important to keep a clear mind in any situation. Gabriel, why are you scratching yourself so much? What is going on? Seeing as we're meeting again, you must have completed your tasks, manager. I'd give you a compliment if I didn't have so much work to do. Yeah, I'm sure you have tons of work to do, Yasad. Tipreth would say otherwise. The information team has a task that they must do periodically.
You must have realized that there are some blanks in the abnormality records. Among the tremendous amount of information we gathered, there are some that should remain off limits to employees for security reasons. The names of the employees are one such thing. Any trace of them, what happened, their gruesome death, their desperate will to live, all of that has been stripped from the records on the false pretense of expunging information. There is no way for me to know what the criteria for stripping the records are. They are set by another department, not us. But you're the flippin' information team. We only manipulate the information we receive per orders. Isn't it funny? We've degenerated into a department that destroys and manipulates information as ordered, yet somehow we're still called the information team. Whenever I introduce myself as the supplier of the information team, I sometimes feel something bubbling up inside me. Yasad, did you receive the documents to expunge? You'll get the list of employees soon as well. Please do not forget to review it after you've finished expunging the documents. Miss Angela, what do you think it means to remember someone's name? This is a work you regularly do. Why are you so emotional about it today? Maybe names were remarks atypical beings gave each other, and to engrave each other upon their memories. Someone might have named you Angela following the same concept. Yasad, if you happen to be too tired, please take a break. I knew you would say that. Referring to employees by name is not recommended here. When employees first enter the company, each one receives their own unique identification number. This is to allow the company to identify them using the minimum amount of personal information. We've been reading dialogue for like 10 minutes now. We have their numbers in our data storage devices. Malkuth has never called the employees by their names ever since she started working here. Maybe she is the most ideal Sapphira among us, Sapphira. Well, of course. This is not to say Malkuth deserves to take all the pain as well. None of us do. What kind of poor taste is that? To lock us inside mental bodies and throw us into an endless loop of days that just feel the same as yesterday. Talking to you. What's with that oblivious expression? I heard you might be one of the architects responsible for our creation. The only thing I could do here is remember the names of a few forgotten employees and internally despair, feeling nauseous from even a single breath of air. Have you had fun watching our guinea pigs run around in circles? Jeez, my mouth's getting dry. See, I told you, I've been rotting from the inside for a long time. Gabriel was more rational than anything else. He was unmoved even after hearing about what happened to Elijah. Is this all their backstories? Some said he lacked empathy. Nobody realized that his emotions were festering on the inside. Maybe he began falling apart from long ago, ever since Carmen left this world. Who's Carmen? He slowly became expressionless. He wouldn't allow himself to have even a paltry joy. He also couldn't stand having even the smallest part of his body exposed. What? We made a monster that was not supposed to exist in this world. We went too far to ever turn back. To not let what Elijah did be in vain. Instead, taking the time to grieve everyone knew that they needed to utilize the result to the fullest. He tried to maintain a fake good level of headedness, but his attempts to remain rational slowly morphed into obsession. He started to wear long-sleeved clothing that also covered his neck. Not much later, he started to scratch himself harshly. We suggested he receive a complete medical examination to see whether he was contaminated or have an infection, but he refused. I'll enforce the procedure. Health checkups were needed to prevent further damage. Persuasion became coercion, and coercion led to the use of physical force. He was tied and bound for the checkup, but he resisted so desperately that it was hard for us to watch him. Eventually, it turned out he wasn't infected at all. Was that really fortunate, though? No, it wasn't. The examination did not resolve anything. He kept scratching himself so harshly, even worse than before. When I saw him last, he wasn't lucid or cognizant to any human speech, and his body was completely covered in scratches. No one has seen him since then. Don't worry, Hod. That's a very common side effect when you first take enkephalin. No, Hod. Don't. I'm gonna pause the recording and get a cup of water real quick. My throat's getting pretty dry. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Oh, Hunt, don't fall victim to the drugs. You're my favorite so far. Just like a light hallucination. It'll disappear after 2 or 3 times, so don't worry about it too much. For me, it was an employee whose face had half melted, crawled over my feet and grabbed me by the shoulders, asking me why I let her die. That wasn't a hallucination or anything. Then what? Are you trying to say that dead employees are suddenly coming back to life? You know, like, unbelievable things are happening here, so maybe it's possible for dead employees to come back as if nothing happened, right? I'm not in any state to say this, but you don't look too good. Why don't you skip today's meeting? I can't do that. We have an abnormality response training today. They need me to run the drill properly. You're really something, huh? I don't think there's another Sapphire here who cares about the employees as much as you do. That's why I like Hod so much, right? Look, Tiffany, I was right. I'm a good person. I'm a good Sapphira. Hello, everyone. Today we will... Are you still trying to play the good Sapphira? Be focusing on abnormality response training. How many times do I have to tell you? You're only a sad piece of rusty scrap metal putting on the act of being a good person. Now, I want everybody to pay close attention here. The abnormality we'll suppress today needs to be handled a bit differently from the others. If you hope that living such a lie would ease your conscience, that's really selfish. Starting now, I will be explaining the method I devised. Please listen carefully. At least the other Sapphire are humble enough to admit that they're not perfect. Quiet. Oh, sorry. Where were we? Excuse me, Miss Hod, I have a question, so that's all in her head. Yes, what is it? Do you think that this training will make any difference? I mean, against that long bird, it feels like whoever will die or live is all predetermined, and there's nothing that we can do to change it. Well, it should yield a better result than just doing nothing. At the very least, we can prepare a preventive measure rather than just wait hopelessly to... It's just all about luck. We'd be better off and more comfortable to simply accept that we can die at any moment while working. Just know this. You won't reach that paradise no matter what you do. I'm doing this all for you guys, even the counseling campaign. Now that you mention it, that compulsory counseling campaign is such a pain. We'd rather have break time instead. Why is our department the only one that has to deal with these programs? It'll keep repeating itself. Live with eternal sorrow and remorse in that mental mass. Well, all of you would be dead by now if I hadn't helped you. Why aren't you thanking me? Do you want me to get rid of you like Malkuth does before you even make the littlest complaint? Don't you say that I'm the bad one here. Are you finally admitting to your awful nature? Tiffany, why are you doing this to me? I'm not Tiffany. Look at me. Can't you even distinguish your own voice anymore? Don't take drugs. Yes, are you still having that sweet nightmare? When I read the article detailing Michelle's suicide, is that Hod? It was just as our experiments were starting to show some progress. Michelle was the youngest among us. She was timid and an innocent employee. It made her an easy target. Maybe it was her fate to be used as a pawn of the wings that were alert to us, or the head that would watch over us constantly. You likely didn't know things would go the way they did. You'd never have timed that you never have thought that a puny kid like you would bring about our demise. You never have believed that the situation would end up so much worse than your intentions. You probably tried to comfort yourself in the end, telling yourself that you did the best you could, that in this world, in that moment, there wasn't any other option for you. But Carmen was the person who tried to change this world. The world you resigned yourself to. Who is Carmen? And why didn't you just put her in one of the metal machines like the other Sapphira? If we meet again in hell, I'll finally be able to forgive you. I'll pull up the newspaper. So I can't do NetSax right now. Why is that? But, like, I've got all of his missions done, right? Did they not want to throw more information at me? But the button to initiate the suppression of a core Sapphira will not appear unless all the Sapphira missions and dialogue are completed. Conditions not met will show up on a grayed out department if the conditions are not satisfied. All conditions shown below need to be satisfied before the suppression can begin. When all conditions for Sapphira core suppression are met, the button on the top left of the department will become active. If you click on the Sapphira Core Suppression Department button, all employees assigned to that department will be removed and placed into standby. The conditions of the handicaps of the core suppression will be shown. The Begin Management button will be replaced with the Begin Core Suppression button. Click to start the suppression. Alright. Fortitude's maxed. Gonna do that. Alright. What's Patrick's stuff at? 3. Nice. Alright. That was a lot of dialogue. I'll end this episode here. If y'all have enjoyed, please hit the like button. If not, the dislike button. Either way, it supports my channel. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye.